interior with Will Magnay off the floor.
To travel from Josh Adams. Shooting the basketball well today. 3 of 5 from outside.
Go to work, draws the foul. They find Humphries underneath.
Nice set, Adelaide. They look to climb the mountain and cut back this league. Josh Adams took it to the basket.
Down the other end, and then Humphries aggressive down low. And what we're talking about Adelaide bigs, Jack, I want to give a shout out to a former Adelaide big man, Brett Wheeler, former teammate of mine, turns 50 today.
Wow.
The great man, two-time champion, played 8 grand final series, Brett Wheeler. But over and above, what a great baller he was. Just a really great bloke. One of those guys. Nobody has met Brett Wheeler and just doesn't love him. Really generous guy. Terrific artist.
Beautiful artist, by the way.
Yeah, great drawer, but just an outstanding human being. Brings up the big 5-0 today. Happy birthday, Wheels.
Can you paint?
No, I can't. There's a lot of creativity in my family.
Is there?
Yes, there is. My old man's a sculptor.
Is that right?
Yes. But
there have been too many sculptors.
Tinambakan sila, 38-50 oh.
He's a terrifically talented sculptor, and but no, none of those.
Parang talo sila dito.
There you go. I have real trouble with stick figures.
38-50.
I cannot draw at all. Art and all those sorts of classes at school were a complete failure.
So we don't get you on the analysis board at this point this season.
No.
Okay. Now,
Megato.
timeout call. 12-point margin. Adelaide starting to get themselves going here.
First season in charge. Adelaide 36ers.
Well, speaking of champions,
Dagi third quarter pa lang. Pero matayot na eh.
CJ Bruton and
Sambaka na sila oh.
as well. Yeah. He's another guy that everybody loves. CJ Bruton, and really cool to see him get this opportunity. No, he's done his hard yards as an assistant.
Been a long time coming, hasn't it?
It has. Overlooked for a few jobs, no doubt about it. He's not, you can't hide behind that. But Jeff Van Groningen, those two, of course, combined back in Brisbane, back in the day, the Joey Wright led team in 2007. CJ a big part of that spectacular team that won the title. Jeff Van Groningen, of course, the GM of basketball, and then combining again here in Adelaide. Wish CJ all the best. Hope he gets off his head coaching career to a successful start.
What type of coach do you think he'll be? Will life imitate art? You know, will a lot of what he did as a player come across as a coach?
Yung mga chicks
Certainly
lang
going to
po.
grow from Mitch McCarron. Learn about that. It's been terrific for a guy like that. So in Brisbane as a mentor for a playmaker like that. But I think overall he's going to be, it's a bit of a cliche these days, a player's coach, but his skills as an assistant, offensive foul call,
22, ang laman.
cleans Dusty Hannah's off the ball. He's been a great assistant coach, real arm over the shoulder guy, helping guys to understand the nuances of games and chatting to them when they come off in heated moments and refocusing them on the game. And the question is, well, how's his in-game management going to be? The X's and O's, but I tell you, he's in all of his opportunities thus far. Dusty Hannahs knocks it in from long range through the contact. A little bit of what he's going to bring this season. He's been really successful. I mean, he was coaching Brisbane at the Blitz 2 years ago. Pretty sure they went undefeated. They did hoisted the Logansport Cup at the end of that with CJ in charge.
CM na lang.
Got off to a winning start here in the pre-season 36ers, so no doubt he'll be as successful as a coach. Well, it's going to be hard to be as successful as he was as a player because he won so many titles, but he's just comes from a great basketball family, and I wish him all the best.
4-point play for Dusty Hannahs, and this lead is back inside single
Dusi
figures.
pala kanina,
It
Dusi.
hasn't been that
CM
way
na
for
lang.
quite a while. Steindl off target. Bairstow, the offensive rebound. The Jet threw it cross court. High risk pass. Sunday Decker almost came up with it.
So all of a sudden we've got an 8-point game. It's been 8-zip so far in this fourth quarter after that 4-point play from Dusty Hannahs.
Lalo na lang.
Adelaide have worked their way back into this thing. They were down 21, getting blown out of the building. Will Magnay shut down at half-time. Adelaide right back in it, and another stop right there.
Todd Withers blocking the shot. Johnson travels.
Good call from the ref. As Johnson and Hannahs talk their way through what they're trying to get done. And Jack McVay, he enjoyed that stop. He's got a bit of a job on his hands right now trying to guard Dan Johnson. He's had lots of experience doing it at Adelaide 36's practice over the last few years. Now he's trying to get it done for real with the Jack Jumpers.
And Steindl, big knockdown three. They needed that. It was a 9-0 run to start the quarter for Adelaide. 4-point ball game at the Ulverston Sports Centre. Adelaide have done this the hard way.
Tatlo na lang.
They are right back in the game
Lamang.
after being 21 down at quarter time. Points are waved away from Kyle McIntosh.
Dusi, kanina lamang nila eh. Lamang sa kanila pala.
Been quiet today, only 2 points, both of those coming from the free throw line.
Third quarter na.
16 and 12 in his 2 games before this. McDaniel likes it from that spot. Doesn't get it to drop. McIntosh with the offensive rebound. Steindel's shot was blocked by Mojave King. Steindel followed up though. He's got a smile on his face.
Steindl will follow that block shot and clean up the mess, but contest King blocked that Steindl 3-point attempt without fouling. Jack Jumpers 16-2 it was out of the halftime break before them, so points on the board. Tassie in the first 6.
Saan ka nagpagupit?
Really dried up.
Intramuros Barber?
Sa Juan,
Yung sa bading?
harap ng musok.
Ah, meron dyan.
Dusty Hannahs, 15
Meron
points.
dyan.
Looks like he's racked these up pretty quickly. 4 of 6 from the field.
Yan, ito yung ay...
Nagtitipay ba ka? Magagara na ano.
Oo, ako, dirira.
Shout out kay Toto.
Kado. Di do.
To Mojave King and a jet
Korea
for
sa
2.
pantay. Anak, gawa.
Another chance in Tasmania.
Di man, magtupin. Di yung pantay lagi. Iba
Steindl.
na taas. Iba na.
Nasabruhan niya dito.
Gawa na urot.
He's been their primary scorer.
Okay lang tato kayo. Okay na nawong na ko kayo. Taas kayo. Ano siya, di naman patay. Urot na buka.
Nasabruhan niya dito.
Tapos diri sa pikas. Ano, murag lubog. Diri sa pikas wala. Karon ano po ko. Hindi nga nakatanit. Kalbo na lang ba?
Hannahs to walk to the other end of the floor. There's the now famous YouTube video of Dusty Hannahs. How many in a row was it? 91 or something like that? 97?
Oh, mate, he can stroke it. 100%. Spent some time, obviously, a lot of time with Memphis Hustle in the G League. Got some NBA games with the Grizzlies.
Turuan ko yun si Sir
But
Maglan.
big time scoring games for the Hustle.
Mag-ano daw siya. Pag natuto daw siya eh.
He was kind of in that G League MVP.
Baka mga kanro yung maging bankanor na pangalawa.
Magpuan na. Isang round na makapit.
Chance for him to come overseas, come into this Adelaide squad, have a big impact and see if he can get another NBA.
We've sold him one short. It was 98.
There you go.
3-pointers in a row. Saw a really good interview with our man John Casey last week. Dusty Hannahs spoke to him. He's confident in a good way. He knows he can shoot. He wants to play a good role for his team. Weeks, catch and shoot 3, off target. McIntosh, real well off the rim. Is Steindl. He's had a really good third quarter. Someone had to stand up for Tassie and stop the rod, and it's the captain.
Important buckets from Steindl. A couple of key offensive rebounds from McIntosh. He's got the smaller Sunday bench guarding him right now, and he's getting after the offensive glass.
Nice knockdown from Nick Marshall. Seen some good signs for him in the blitz. 7 points in the first game. Shot clock now into single figures for the Jack Jumpers. McIntosh sent Adelaide all up in the air and gets himself back on the free throw line.
Steady couple of minutes here from Tassie. McIntosh and Steindl kind of grabbing the reins a little bit at the offensive end. McIntosh on the glass, Steindl from long range, and just ticking the scoreboard over a little bit, and as we suggested, John Perry checking in for his first action of the afternoon.
South Korea, Belgium, France, Chile. This is where he was most recently. Averaged 12 points. That's 3 this afternoon. Defensive possession for Adelaide.
Good help from Isaac Humphries. McIntosh trying to go to work on Dench down low, and Humphries got involved at the perfect time. Forced the rainbow fall away.
Nice try, Mojave King. Humphries missed the tip in. Plenty of time here for Tasmania. Happy to settle for one shot. Shot clock switched off. Wings kicks it into the corner, but it was a bit out of control. Marshall stepped in and took the charge.
One last opportunity for Adelaide. Cut further into this margin before three-quarter time. It's been an outstanding quarter for them. If it wasn't for Clint Steinel catching fire, they'd probably be in the lead right now, but they've doubled Tassie's score in this third quarter. Turnover here doesn't help.
Weeks to finish it off. No good. Big quarter for the 36ers though. They win it 22-11. They take a point for the NBL Blitz ladder, but most importantly, Liam, with a quarter to play, they give themselves a really good look at winning this one.
Good response from Adelaide because, they got blown off the court in that opening quarter today. 33-12, they were down at quarter time. Showed some signs in the second quarter as they got themselves back in the game, but it was still a big margin at half time. But they came out with renewed energy to begin this third term. Now, keep it in context, Will Magnay was a dominant force in the first half, and he's been shut down at half time, so that's opened things up. It's allowed, it's taken the dominant rim protector off the floor. He was getting it done at the offensive end as well. Will Magnay with those 11 first half points, but credit to Adelaide, they've taken advantage. Annas has got going, he's got a bit going from long range, he's been able to get his floater happening, get a little bit happening in the paint as well, and Johnson and Humphries taking the scoreboard over as well, clamping down defensively, dominating on the glass, which they've done throughout the game, and they're right back in this thing.
Will Magnay in the second half on managed minutes. Dusty Hannes has 16 points, 4 of 6 shooting. Seems to have been a bit more selective today with the shots that he's taken.
I like how he's mixed it up. A little bit from long range, of course, and an explosive 4-point play, highlight reel play, but he's also been doing some stuff off the bounce. It's only been three-point attempts. But he's been getting into the paint, drawing contact. He's 7 of 9 from the free throw line. His floating game's been on point, so it's that mix that's going to make him really tough to guard. If he just relies on three-point attempts to tick the scoreboard over, it becomes a little bit easier to guard. So He's had a good balance offensively so far today.
The start of the last, Hannahs, Humphreys, McCarran, Johnson and Withers on the floor for Adelaide. Tasmania, McIntosh, Kenyon, Steindl, Perry and Weeks.
Ayun na, fourth quarter na.
Foul perspective, Cam Besto has 4 for Adelaide. Josh Adams, who spent a lot of time in the second half on the bench, also has 4 fouls. Perry was fined underneath for Kenyon. Johnson fouled after he got the 3 ball away by Jared Weeks. Just feels, Liam, everything offensively for Tasmania since half time has been hard. You know, when they score it feels difficult.
Might get a little easier right now. Josh Magette and Josh Adams, that dynamic coming back into the game. I think they've missed Magette out there running the show. The tempo that he plays out, his creativity with the ball. You're right, it's been difficult. They only scored 13 points in the entire second half thus far, 2 minutes into the ball.
Looks nice and fresh, Daniel Johnson. Played a lot of minutes in game 1 in their overtime win over Cairns, so you can understand why CJ Bruton decided to let him have a rest in the second game. Adams, see that he's guarded by Humphreys. Humphreys did well to stay in front. Magette spots up for 3.
Good decision from Adams. Didn't force it on the attack, but he drew the double team. Now Adelaide's in rotations.
Kaya talunin niya ng
Around the perimeter.
player.
Magette open on the arc.
Lead is back out the 4. Nice hands from Perry. Jack Jumpers get moving up the floor. McIntosh took it himself. Did everything except finish.
Allah, bakaw.
McCarran for Hannahs. Got it.
Great push from McCarran. Missed Daniel Johnson. Johnson was open as he stepped towards the hoop, but he found his shooter on the arc, and Hannahs knocked it in.
19 for the sharpshooter.
Jack Jumpers. Resuming that matchup with his former teammate Daniel Johnson.
Besto playing with 4 fouls. This is with the left hand. Adams pulls it back out. It's guarded by Johnson. Drives. Help D was good from Besto. And that will be the end of Cam Besto's afternoon as he's called for a block. Replay of that would be worth seeing again.
Adams comes up, gravity's right elbow. It was a bang play. John Perry needs to stay spaced out in that sort of situation. Adams gets the mismatch. He wants to take Daniel Johnson off the dribble. Perry's job is to try to keep his man away. Give Adams room to operate. He stepped towards the basket. He brought Cam Besto into the play. In the end, the whistle went the Jack Jumpers' way.
Looked up and all they've seen is Jack Jumpers. Everywhere they look around, they swarm.
And this is one of the things I've loved from Tassie so far in the pre-season, their willingness and their intent to get up the floor defensively. You can see they'll face guard the primary ball handler. They'll try to kick the ball out of Mitch McCarron's hands, make someone else advance it. Just try to be disruptive 94 feet of the floor.
It's a fairly straightforward thing on John Perry. Sit tight with us right there. That was about the moment that he said to CJ Bruton, I need some oxygen.
Perry comes out, Bairstow comes in. Still a matchup problem for Tassie. That one right there, Daniel Johnson, see if Adelaide make a focus of him. I mean, he's a focus at all times. He's such an offensive weapon, but Bairstow's going to find it tough to guard the superstar down low.
Falling away, that's vintage DJ. Locked away at 67.
He's got the strength to match it with Johnson. You can see him hold his position. He
Tingnan
just
lang
doesn't have
space
the fleet of foot or the limp. So Johnson fades away, shoots over the top.
The Jim's open underneath, but slipped and had to kick it back out. And then McVeigh travels. Five minutes to play.
Tayo na yung score sa ano.
Since quarter time, Hannah's has been a real danger for Adelaide. 19 points, 5 of 7 from the field. Sam McDaniel to be subbed back in, unfortunately, for Tasmania because Josh Adams is fouled out. He's a fan favourite already, Liam. It's been 3 games, you can hear the wall of applause there.
It's fun to watch. That explosive player. Great athleticism, but can also knock it in from long range. Fouls out today with 10 points and 3 assists.
Mahame King to give the 36ers the lead. From 21 points down, they find themselves in front with 5 minutes left.
Oh my. The Jack Jumpers fans don't know what's going on. It was a basketball party at the Ulverston Stadium in the first quarter, and right now they are stunned as they look at the scoreboard and see their team down 3.
Styles 3 jumps out, offensive rebound and put back Jack McVeigh. Fine for Sunday Deck.
Beautiful from McCarron, great patience. He saw Sunday his man under the hoop.
72-69. Final quarter action at the Ulverston Sports. Huge fight back from the 36ers earlier today. Perth Wildcats winning by 9 over the Cairns Taipans. And up next on Wednesday, Liam, back here at Ulverston, there'll be the Taipans against the Brisbane Bullets. We've spoken about a lot of other teams today. We haven't spoken about the Bullets. Have you seen their blitz thus far?
Been impressed, really impressed. And a lot of that revolves around Mark Patterson. He was the guy I was most keen to see from Brisbane the pre-season, just to have a look at how he was looking, how he was moving, how he was playing. He looks good. As a result, that brings that whole Brisbane roster together.
Yeah.
It revolves around him being an all-league type performer. Sobey, of course, is going to be at that level. Robert Franks is legit. You haven't seen any of Isaiah Moss just yet. They've got to work him into the rotation as well. But you know, those other guys, Dremick, Kenny, they are they're experienced pros. And they're going to be there, but with Lamar Patterson playing at that level, and if Tyrell Harrison can take another leap this season, they're going to be right in the mix.
He looks set to have a good year, Tyrell Harrison. He'll get the chance with no Matt Hodgson. Majette fires away. Jack McVeigh once more on the offensive glass. You've got to love the way this guy goes about it.
Love it from McVeigh. Just bringing the energy that the Jack Jumpers needed. Checking into the game, and Kyle McIntosh comes out, McVeigh comes in. Offensive rebounds, extra possessions, much needed buckets.
It's Johnson with an easy two after Bairstow fell over. Steindl. And the Jet. Out on the way through. McCarron. Him above the shoulders.
Wants to talk about it. They've got some problems at the defensive end right now, the Jack Jumpers. First and foremost, got no answer for Daniel Johnson. No, at the moment. They really just don't have a matchup for it at all. Will Magnay not playing? I mean, obviously with him out there on the floor, that's a guy you can put on Johnson. If you're playing Humphries and Johnson together, well, that's going to make things tough. But without Magnay, McVeigh's had some minutes, Bairstow's had some minutes, Grizzly, McIntosh, those guys are really able to handle Daniel Johnson. He's ticked up to 17 points now, 6 of 9 from the field, and it's his impact as well that's opening things up for other guys. Mitch McCarron's finding him. So there's all this attempt, nobody wants to leave Daniel Johnson, dead rolls to the rim, McCarron finds him. McCarron's up to 11 assists now. Only taken 3 field goals. But has been moving the ball around nicely, finding the open guy. And Adelaide ticking the scoreboard over. They've got 19 points on the board already in the first 7 minutes or so of this fourth quarter.
Jack Jumpers, their win over Cairns, had control for a lot of the game. They were almost front running because they did the work early. 3 minutes for us to learn a little about them and for them to perhaps learn a little bit about themselves. Majet, step back three, off target. Jack McVeigh, offensive rebound, doing it again.
Big time impact. Jack McVeigh just finding ways to impact the game positively for his team. 3 big offensive rebounds.
A score out of the timeout, importantly for the Jack Jumpers. McCarron, nice pass, cross court for Mojave King.
Parang Pinoy din yun eh.
That 3 looks good.
Couple of big fourth quarter knockdown.
Back out to 4 the difference. They out on the floor by Hannes.
That's really good to see from Mojave King. We've spoken about the focus that he needs to have defensively, but he also needs to knock down shots. And he has done that this afternoon. Perfectly set up right there, got right to the open space and stepped up and knocked it down. He's 3 of 5 from long range tonight. He's got 11 points on the board.
The Jet drives, high arcing over the top of Isaac Humphries. Two-point game at the Ulverston Sports Centre. Jack Jumpers fans, you can hear them. They want to stop.
Hindi pinalaro.
Go down to Humphries and he delivers.
Ayaw nila ma-expose eh.
Good
Gusto nila
execution
sila
from
ma-expose.
Adelaide. No panic in them whatsoever at the offensive end. And they are punishing Jared Bairstow right now, whether it's Johnson, it's Humphries, using the size advantage as Steindl
Talo kayo
responds
ngayon.
from long range.
Captaincy looks good on Clint Steindl. 17 now in the game. Shooting at 7 of
Isa na lang.
12. Leading scorer for Tasmania. It's Mojave kick drives
butik
off the
masuk.
glass. Tough finish.
Great take, young fella. Put it on the deck, snaked his way through the lane, and the
Lobat
athleticism
ng
and
battery.
length to finish off the glass.
Still 3 that separates these teams.
Super.
Daniel wheels around from the elbow. That jumps out. Offensive rebound, Bairstow. Steindl to tie it up. He misses. Humphries drags it in.
I dodged a bullet there, Adelaide. He leaves Bairstow, gets the offensive rebound. The jack jumpers don't make them pay.
And McCarron, the Adelaide captain, to use the full 24 available. Ditch. Had a good look from there.
Lobat na.
How does the official see this? Foul on Johnson.
McVeigh and Johnson in the wrestle down
Sarap
low.
kumatalo sila dito.
36's teammates. The foul goes against the Adelaide legend. Jack McVeigh is going to stroll the length of the floor, head to the free throw line and try to cut this game to 1.
3 years as an Adelaide 36er. Saw the opportunity this year to play starters minutes. Played 22 of them today. Makes both free throws. CJ Bruton calling a timeout with 23 seconds left in the game.
A great response from the
Saan na
Jack
lang
Jumpers
pala?
down the stretch in this fourth quarter because, geez, they were having a tough time of things. Game completely pivoted at halftime when Will Magnay got shut down. He was a dominant force in the opening half, and the Jack Jumpers found things difficult. Just scored 11 points in the third term, thanks to Clint Steindl just keeping their head above water. And everything was going Adelaide's way. They were able to build themselves, get out in a lead, a 4-point lead, and it looked like they were going to run away with things. But the Jack Jumpers have hung tough. Jack McVeigh off the bench.
Ganda sanang laro. 1 point lang ang
3
lead.
offensive rebounds, 3 putbacks. They've been able to find Clint Steindl open in the corner. They've done enough to hang tough. Now for Adelaide, it's got to go into Mitch McCarron's hands to begin with. He has been outstanding tonight. 12 assists for their new point guard recruit. And from there, I'd be finding Daniel Johnson, put it in the block to DJ, let him make a good decision down there. He's got 17, he's at 66% from the field.
It's the 14th game of the NBL Blitz. Only one game has been decided by more than 10 points. That was when the Jack Jumpers beat Cairns by 15. Such a tight NBL 22 season that we've got coming your way.
The Jack Jumpers are going to get after it
23
because the shot
seconds.
clock will be turned off. So they're going to have to make a play, get a trap, try and force a turnover. They actually want a foul. You see Josh Magette right there saying, hold up, we don't
Hindi
want to try
tumakbo na oras.
We're trying to get some
21 point
pressure,
lang.
get some traps and try to get a steal.
1 second lang yung tinakbo ng oras na yun.
In the end, the official blows his whistle.
Ah, yes.
Free throws to come.
Now it gets interesting.
Kabado pa nag-free throw. Wala pa yan. Buti na lang.
2-point game.
No timeout from Scott Roth. Must be out of timeouts. They've got
22.
the entire game clock to work with.
Ayaw magdumano.
Play for the win, or they can play to send it to overtime.
Ayaw ng oras ko.
The Jet. Guarded by Johnson. Up goes the three. It's well short. And the air has been taken out of the Ollaston Sports Centre.
Oh, they needed to get something better than that. No action. Yeah, just a long-range
Buti
attempt on the
panalo.
buzzer as clock expires.
3 seconds.
36ers take the win.
What a comeback from
Pwede pa yun
21 points down. The Adelaide 36ers survive a scare at the end,
Oh, wala na.
but they win it 82-80.
80 to
And they're
80.
3-0 in the NBL Blitz.
That was a fun game.
Ayan, di pinalaro eh.
Looked dead in the water, the 36ers, in that opening quarter, down 21 at quarter time. And everything changed at halftime, as we've said. Will Magnay killed it in the first half. They shut him down, getting him ready for the regular season. And Adelaide, from that point on, grabbed the ascendancy. Good response from Tassie in that final term to hang tough, force it down to the wire. But the 36ers good enough to keep their some shots. He had a
Hindi
team-high 19.
pinalaro.
And Daniel Johnson did what he usually does, 17, and Isaac Humphries continuing to build on his recovery from injury, 11 and 6. So certainly some positive signs.
Hindi pinalaro eh. Hindi pinalaro.
Especially down the stretch in that fourth quarter, he had 13 points and 4 assists. So certainly some positive
Muntik
signs.
na eh.
Again, they got the win. That's terrific. And if you're a basketball fan in Tassie, you're gonna love what the Jack Jumpers are bringing to the table. They're super fun to watch. Outstanding pre-season debut from Will Magnay. So plenty for them to build on.
They just have a crack, Tasmania, don't they? That's